Right, boys, welcome to Manchester United DNA, the new Let's Play series on the channel now. I did a Ralf Rangnick tactic a couple of months ago. As I played that and played through pre-season trying to get the tactic to work, the more I wanted to be Manchester United as a sort of like a Let's Play series. So I brought it in for 2022 with a little tweak. We've added in the added edge of DNA. We've also added in Ralf Rangnick. He's my director of football. Our first port of call when we want to recruit a player, we're going to go to Ralf and see what he says first. I've cleared the backroom staff because I think that was necessary, and I've appointed an ex-Manchester United legend just to help me as I bed in at the Theatre of Dreams. Right, let's get into today's episode. You boys at home, by the way, have got a massive part to play in today's episode, and probably the future of the save. You're going to decide what to do with Mr. Paul Pogba. All right, guys, let's get into it. Right, here we are. First episode of DNA. First thing, what is the DNA? So the DNA we're going to be looking at is 5 key attributes. I think 5 key attributes that Manchester United as a whole have been lacking over the last, especially in the last few months and over the last couple of years. Work rate, I think they can work a lot harder. Determination, off the ball, stamina, and the last one, teamwork. 5 things. Now, we're going to look at that in the game. So if you look at my squad right now, there you go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got them all there so we can have a little look. Now, what we're not going to do is stick to it as a complete 100% rule. So by the look of it, just for an example, look, where is Cristiano? Cristiano's got work rate and teamwork that are quite low. Now, he's already at the club. However, it would probably stop us signing a Cristiano Ronaldo just based on those really 2 attributes. If we're looking at players, we're not going to stick to it as a complete rule. You know, if Haaland becomes available and he's maybe got 10 and the rest of them are sort of like 14s and 15s plus, we're still going to sign a Haaland. So we're not going to stick to it 100% because I think that would ruin the save and make the save a little bit maybe unrealistic. But we need to make sure they've got a nice core of maybe 3 or 4 of these attributes at 14, 15 plus. That's what we're looking at. I'm not going to sign any regens as well. This save's going to probably go for about 6, 7, maybe 8 seasons. So the rule is signing no regens. The only regens that we're going to use in the game are ones that are coming through our youth academy. Any Patreons that want to become a regen, or anyone who would like to become a regen in the game, Patreon links down below if you want to get involved in that and get your name as a regen. Okay, so there is the DNA. I've cleared the squad out. Now, I have got the transfer window open, but I've not done anything yet. I'm looking at Vlahovic because I think he would be ideally suited for us up front over the next few seasons, especially with Cavani probably leaving in the summer. Cristiano Ronaldo having, 2 seasons left in the game. So, yeah, we need to strengthen in there. But I've just left it for now. Want to see what we're working with first. I'm quite happy we've had quite a weird pre-season in terms of results, but productive in terms of the tactic that we've developed. So, I have got 3 tactics that I'm going to show you right now. Now, the first tactic was actually this one. So this is the one that I used in my Ralf Rangnick tactic video. Even though we've got 2 wide players, these are sitting pretty narrow. I've got them both on sitting narrower, as you can see. Both sitting narrow, so as if we're playing with wingers. But then I decided to go down the proper route of having 2 central attacking midfielders. That's what we've been using most. That's going to be my number 1 tactic so far. Number 2, we're going to use that just to change it up in game, maybe a little bit off a rotation when we've got a few wider players that need games. And then 3, we've got my 4-4-2 low block just to help us maybe in European games, tough away games, just something just to change it up a little bit. So those are the 3 tactics. Now, signings, we've kind of said, yeah, we're just going to wait and see. Maybe something done in January. I'm not going to rule out making a sign-in because we'll just see what becomes available. We've only got 30 million to spend. I've already tried Vlahovic. They want around 65 million. I think I can get him from a little bit cheaper than that. So I've just left it for now. Keep an eye on him, making sure that no one snaps him up ahead of us. Right. On the outs, there's players transfer listed. Martial's transfer listed. I'm going to probably transfer list Mata at some point. I've just kind of needed Mata during pre-season because a lot of players have been unavailable during pre-season. Jesse Lingard, I kind of want to keep, but then at the same time, I think if we can get, well, how much is he worth? If we can get between, £20 million for him, I'll probably let him go, and then that would definitely free up a move for Vlahovic. Right, the big question, and this is where you guys are going to be getting involved today, Mr. Paul Pogba. Now, the issue that I have is, obviously you're all aware that he has 1 year left on his deal. The issue that I have is because in real life, I think it's time for him to leave. I can't see him sticking to what Ralph Rangnick or maybe the next coach wants to do over a longer period of time. He's injured a lot. Now, we've not seen him playing for Man United for maybe 2 months or more now. He always has this spell in around middle of the season or a third of the way through the season where he misses a massive chunk. He's also 28, so he's at his peak. If this is at his peak, we're not going to be missing him much, I don't think. And I think, with the amount of money that he would be wanting, I imagine he's going to want more than that. It would be time to move on. Now, the issue is, in Football Manager, he's fucking brilliant. Let's just be honest. He is absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys because I'm a little bit in between what to do. He could do, in real life, he would never be able to do that role. So the role that kind of Fred's been doing at the moment in sort of like the middle two, playing as a six, I don't think he can do. However, in Football Manager, he does it really well. So that's the kind of the conundrum that I'm kind of not allowing myself to make the decision on. You guys, it's going to be a pure vote down in the comments. So here we go. 3 choices. Number 1, we sign him a new contract. We do everything we can to sign him into a new contract. Number 2, we transfer list him right away and see if we can get some money for him either now or in January. Or season 3, we don't offer him a new contract. We play it out and we don't offer him a new contract, if at all, until the end of the season. So we see what he's like with me, with Ralph as my director of football and with my assistant manager for a full season. And then at the end of the season, if we think he's deserving of one, he gets a new contract. Now, if he gets snapped up by someone else in between, we'll just have to get on with that. Okay, those are your 3 choices. Put them down in the comments. Okay, so that is the tactic. Those are the tactics. So I said we're going to go with this today. We have got a live con. We are playing Newcastle at home today. A lot of other teams have done transfers. We haven't, as I said, we haven't done any of yet, but there's still time. There's still a couple of weeks. Now, backroom staff has been cleared. We did have people like Kieran McKenna. So I did go into the editor, to be fair. I did go into the editor and do 2 things. I cleared out the coaching staff and I appointed an assistant manager, Roy Keane. Had to be Roy Keane. Just someone just to fuck shit up a little bit for me. And, he wants those 5 things. If we think about DNA, 5 things: work rate, stamina, off the ball, determination. I always forget one. Teamwork. Is that right? Those are the 5? Those are the 5 things. He's all of that. Personality, perfectionist. Absolutely brilliant. So he's in as my number 2. Now, what I have done is I have absolutely ripped apart the coaching staff in the first team. And by the way, there is Ralph as well as my director of football. So what we are doing is if I'm looking at a player, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into this bit here. If you're not aware, there's a nice little function if you've got a decent director of football, because otherwise, if I just put Ralph Rangnick as director of football and don't use him, it's pretty pointless. So I want to see him having a little bit of use and see what he comes up with. So what we are going to do is when you are searching here in transfers, we're going to go to our director of football. We're going to suggest a target and we're just going to click whatever we want. So either a striker, all roles, advanced forward. Let's see what he says. He's come back with Julian Alvarez, which is an interesting one because Manchester United have been linked to him and he's got a 16.5 million release clause in real life. He's got a 6.25 million release clause. Oh dear. Does he fit our DNA? Stamina 15, work rate 14, teamwork 14, off the ball 15, determination 14. He fits our DNA. He's only 5'7" though. Only 5'7". Right. Christ, who's he wanted by? Norwich. Already opened up. Ralph Rangnick's done for us there. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Ralph give us 3 suggestions. If the 3 suggestions aren't very good, then we will dive into the sort of like the player search, how we normally sign players and stuff. But I think for now, we just let Ralph give us, he's given us 3 options there, and let's see what he comes up. That's Roy Keane. That's Ralph Rangnick. The rest of the coaching staff has been made up, and it is pretty impressive. We've got kind of the best in class of what I could do at the time. So we've snapped up Borussia Dortmund's head of youth development, Lars Ricken. He's got absolutely outstanding attributes. Hopefully he'll be able to move our youth team on. I get our head of youth development doing a lot of things in the youth team, in particular training, setting training schedules, individual training for youth players, etc. So he will be very, very busy. And then we've got just the best. We've brought Brian Kidd back in just as, because he's an exceptional coach, really, even though he was from Man City. And then we've just got coaches from all over, Netherlands, Germany, Portugal. We've got 2 Spanish fitness coaches in. We've got 2 French goalkeeping coaches in. I just went for the best that was available. And we've put together a pretty impressive coaching department. We aren't the best in goalkeeping and we aren't the best in fitness. So we may sort that during the season. All right, so there we are. Now the squad, I think, is on the whole is very good in real life. In real life, I think obviously the big thing is the number 6 area. I think we need to improve in here, even though I'm quite happy with Scott McTominay in real life and maybe in the game. He fits what we want him to do in there. You know, he's just a ball-winning midfielder, so he doesn't need to do much. Maybe a box-to-box. We need a right-back. We'll probably keep Dalot as cover, but Wan-Bissaka, to be fair to Wan-Bissaka, he does really well in the game sometimes, better than what he does in real life. But I think we need to sign a new right back. I think that's where Man United lack. Centre halves, I'm okay with. We've got Lindelof, Varane, Maguire, Bailly, and we've also got people like Mengi coming through, who I kind of like. He will definitely get some game time, I think, during the season. And then other weak areas, striker. I think it's striker, just basically because we've got Cavani and Ronaldo. We've got Rashford and Greenwood up there, but I think we do need to get another one. I think I will let Cavani go at the end of the season. He's got a year left, even though I absolutely love him. I think we'll probably leave him out and not offer him a new deal. Any suggestions? This is your time now. Put them in the comments below. So really what we need is we need to be looking at that DNA, those 5 attributes, and they need to be hitting at least 3 of them. I'm going to say they need to hit at least 3 of them and be close in one of the other ones. So if they're a bit like Cristiano, where he was 7 and 7 for teamwork and work rate, not great. We'll allow a low number in one of them, but not in 2 of them. All right, so there's your opportunity as well. Suggest a way. Right, game day, Newcastle United at home. This should be pretty standard, I think. Let's pick a team. We're also doing my opposition instructions as well. I'm doing them per game. So what we are doing is, even though I've set it, a little tip for you here, I'm going to probably do a video on it actually. I have set positions. So we never press the centre halves. We only press fullbacks and we never press the goalkeeper and stuff like that. I do find, even though I've set this up in the game, it never works. So I'm having to do it for every individual game. So it's something that I need to get into the habit with because it really does help with the press. And hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit of that today. So what we do is we don't press the goalkeeper. We trigger press the fullbacks. And we never press the centre halves. Mainly because we're on a high press, we're on a high line of engagement. If we have pressing the goalkeeper, we have pressing the centre halves, the strikers up there are going to be running constantly. And it makes the pitch a little bit too big. It makes it a little bit scrappy at times, and it looks like a bit like an under-9s game with people sort of like running all over in the match engine. So just to limit it, slow it down a little bit. I think it's also a good way to get the best out of Ronaldo. We don't want Ronaldo having to hunt down goalkeepers and centre halves. He'll just hold his position in the middle of the pitch and wait for the ball to be forced out wide. As soon as the ball goes out wide, we're going to be pressing. We are going to be pressing. They're going with Saint-Maximin and Callum Wilson. I think we're going to have to trigger press him and mark tighten on Saint-Maximin and probably tackle harder. What I also want my fullbacks to do, I want them to come inside.
That's what she said.
We want the right back to be coming in on his left foot. Now, the main reason behind that is because we have got 2 players in the middle of the park there. So we want the fullbacks having to come inside and running into our traffic of centre forwards and attacking midfielders. Right. I think that is it. Let's get into today's game. Right, here we go, boys. So the first team that I have picked is David De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire. Maybe an interesting point for what to do at centre-half, with Maguire being terrible in real life. Dalot at left-back because we've got injuries to Telles and Luke Shaw at the moment. McTominay and Pogba in as a 6 and 8. 2 10s in Sancho Fernandes and Ronaldo, the captain. We've named him club captain. And Edison Cavani. There is the subs bench. We haven't put any youngsters on it, but I forgot to mention, I am having a little look at some youngsters. In particular, I've called up a number of players during pre-season, pretty much because of the Euros. We were very low on players sort of like being away on holiday. One player that I do like the look of is Joe Hugill. He's done quite well, and I think in the under-18s already he's got not 100, I'm saying 100. He's got a load of goals for them over the last sort of like year or so. He's got a couple of goals in pre-season for us. He's 6'3". He's got decent physicals. His stamina is getting there already as a 17-year-old, soon to be 18, but work rate 13, teamwork 14, off the ball 13, determination 11. So not bad as a homegrown player. And then there's other players in and around there as well that we'll probably look at another time. Alvaro Fernandez is doing very well apart from determination. Hannibal looks very good already. 13, 11, 12, 13 and 17 for his DNA. Shoritiri, I can't ever pronounce it. I always butcher that one, but there he is. Is he lacking in one of them? Yeah, he's lacking in stamina, but that will come as a 17-year-old. So our youngsters, apart from Bjorn Hardley, who has done actually quite well for us and done a decent job in backup in pre-season, is really struggling. And at the age of 18, he really needs to improve. He really needs to get those numbers going. All right. That is the youngsters. We'll look at them as the sort of like the season develops. I want to give some of them as much game time as possible, in particular Hannibal and Hugill. We may look at moving on some other players as well, which we'll talk about probably in episode 2. Let me know your thoughts. Which ones? Let me know a few players you think, maybe squad players. Which ones would you get rid of if you were in my position? Right, anyway, let's get into the game. Newcastle at home. They're playing a 4-4-2. Pretty standard, right? Pretty standard 3 points. We had a pretty good pre-season. We played really well in some games. We had a 5-5 draw with, I think it was Rotherham in the first game of pre-season, and we were about 3-0 down after about 40 minutes. So that was a little bit of a worry to start with, but since then we've been quite solid. They're quite attacking for Newcastle. It is Eddie Howe, isn't it? So you expect him to go for it a little bit. And here we go. I'll try and do a few little tactical stuff as the sort of like the game develops and as the series develops as well. Things that I'm thinking of. So obviously we've got our 2 in. What we've got is, if there is Wan-Bissaka, where's our 2-10? So there's a 10 and there's a 10. So a little bit wider, but what it does is it helps us with an overload in the middle of midfield. And then what you will see in these areas here, when we get the overloads, we'll then hopefully see Dalot and Wan-Bissaka keeping the width, getting really wide, getting overlaps in and creating plenty of chances. We're in already. Cavani is in. He's dinked the goalkeeper. He's put us 1-0 up. There we go. I think the thing as well with having, I do love a 2-man striker partnership. And I think if you want people to work the channels, you need to have 2 up front. Having one striker up there all by himself, working the channels, is not going to be good. There's Fernandes. A lovely dropped into a little half space as well. Cavani, lovely little dink. 1-0. We're up and running, boys. So what we want from this save as well, we just want domination. We want to win trophies. I want to enjoy it. I think that's the main thing. I've been kind of put off doing Man United because mainly what other people say about, doing Man United because of it was an obvious choice. But sometimes you just got to do what you want to do. And me being a Man United fan and wanting to play with Fernandes, Sancho, Cavani, Ronaldo, hopefully it's going to be a really enjoyable save. And with the added edge of the DNA, just to give us something, just to think about a little bit. Cavani's at the post, and obviously Ralph helping us out with the tactics. Ralph helping us out with the transfers and stuff. I hope it's going to be very bloody enjoyable over the next few months. Right, free kick, Pogba. I haven't done set pieces yet, I'm going to be honest, because look, we've got Wan-Bissaka and who was that? McTominay holding hands on the halfway line. If you know of any tactics in corners, I do have my own short corner routine and free kicks. Feel free, jump in my Discord and send me any links to really good short corner routines or any kind of free kick routines. I'm not bothered. The game is rubbish for set pieces, so I'd rather just plug something in and get on with the game. So any suggestions, put them in my Discord. Links down in the description. Right, Fernandes, lovely pass. Ronaldo's in, it's 2-0. Bruno Fernandes is loving dropping into that narrow area and clipping these passes in. So there is Dalot on the run, and it just gives Fernandes a little bit of opportunity to get turned and puts in a brilliant pass. 2-0. He's loving dropping into those little half spaces. Right, Clark's gone long. We should get that down. It's been a really good 12 minutes, boys. Maguire, Pogba. Sancho, we haven't seen much of Sancho. He was like one of the last players to come back because of the Euros, and we haven't seen much of him. He played a couple of pre-season games and didn't play well. He's probably the most... he's the one that's going to struggle the most. I think just in terms of role familiarity, I'm going to go through individual training next and go through what I'm going to do in terms of changing a few player roles and stuff. There is Sancho getting into wide areas. What we have got is, if I just show you the tactic very quickly and some of the instructions, Sancho, we've got roam from position and move into channels, because what I didn't want is just basically having these players all in the middle of the pitch. And when we watch the highlight back, he drifts into a wide area just because Sancho would do that. We've seen at the weekend, the games that he's played over Christmas in the 4-2-2-2-2, he's got into nice little wider areas. He's not staying completely central. He's putting a lovely cross there. Goalkeeper's had a nightmare. As per usual, is it Dubrav? No, it's Darlow. Newcastle need a goalkeeper, don't they? Dear me. Right, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, McTominay, Fernandes, Sancho, Pogba. It's good. Wan-Bissaka, Sancho. We get it down? We do. Cavani, it's another one. It's 4-0. Oh, it's offside. Probably the dream start, isn't it, to play Newcastle at home? And Newcastle, by the looks of it, are going for it and are quite open. Oh, it's been awarded. It's been awarded. Is that a hat-trick for Cavani? It is. A 16-minute hat-trick. Maybe I will offer him a new deal. I just think because of his age, and I want to bring through Greenwood, and we want to give Hugo more time in if we bring in a striker, if Mbappe is available at the end of the season, if we bring in Haaland... That kind of, we want megastars. I still want to go down the route of signing megastars, but it needs to be megastars that can offer us something. And obviously, Haaland would suit with his DNA. Absolutely suits Manchester United. Right, Maguire heads down. Sancho's got time to run. He's tried to find a pass. I would like to see him run with it a little bit more. What have I got his playing instructions as? I want to, because obviously Fernandes won't do it as much naturally. He's not much of a dribbler. I've got him run wide with the ball. We've got dribble more on as well. Okay, that's fine. We want to see him, if he gets the opportunity, I want to see Sancho committing players and running at them. We're going to have to give it a praise, aren't we? That's not a bad 30 minutes. Right, Dalot. Pogba. Cross. Cavani. Ronaldo. Is it off? It might be off. Yeah, it might be off. Did Cavani stray offside? That's what the referee is asking. It's going to VAR. The linesman never gave it. A goal awarded. We've had a little bit of luck, boys. Oh, Cavani with a brilliant... To be fair, it was a brilliant header from Cavani. Who was that again? Dalot with a lovely whipped cross. We will probably keep Dalot because he's good on both sides. He's average, isn't he? Really disappointed that... I think the first game we played against Palace in real life, Ralph Rangnick's first game, he came in and played really well. And then the last few weeks, he's been really poor. And Wan-Bissaka is just not a top-tier fullback, I'm afraid. So that's where I feel like we need to strengthen. Right back, definitely. I think Max Aarons may have already been on the move, but I'm not quite sure if he's going to be good enough in FM22. Almiron's getting sent off. Wow. They've not had an impressive first game of the season. It might be a long old season for Newcastle. Right, Wan-Bissaka. Into Sancho. McTominay. Fernandes. Finding loads of spaces, Fernandes. Oh, this is brilliant. Two-man strike. Where's he going, Ronaldo? He should have hit it. McTominay. McSauce has absolutely fired that in, boys. It is 6-0, and we've still got 45 minutes, including stoppage time, to go. Wow. This is Newcastle, I suppose. We don't want to get too excited. Pogba. So this is what we get from Pogba. He's absolutely brilliant in this 6 role. Sorry, in the 8 role. Ronaldo heads. Oh, goalkeeper. And rotation, I think, because it's a heavy press, we're asking the team to do a lot in terms of getting the ball back and stuff. Rotation is going to be important. We've not used Rashford at all yet. He's been injured. But luckily we've got... Oh, what a strike. Good save by Darlow. Rotation will be key, especially in the attacking areas, the midfield areas. Those sort of like front 6 positions. That's why I kind of think we need... Maybe another midfielder. I would love Calvin Phillips. I'm going to be honest. I would love Calvin Phillips at Manchester United. I don't care that he's Leeds United. I'm sure Man United fans would love him. It's maybe Leeds United fans that wouldn't. If he's going to leave, the last place he's going to go. We've had a little look at him. Liverpool and Man City are also chasing him, but I think they want like over 100 million for him at the moment. So I'm hoping Leeds get relegated. It might make it easy to pick up. It's 6-1. That's disappointing. If you watch my channel for long enough, you know that I love a clean sheet. So to concede that is really disappointing. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a berate. Where did that goal come from? Slide pass. They love a slide. They love an intercepted pass. A sliding tackle from your team always ends up setting up the other team. Let's do some change. We're going to do a triple change. Let's go. I think it's important to play some of the youngsters, you know. So let's go Hannibal. No one out there is really struggling, but we are going to go Mason Greenwood on. I want to go Jesse. No, we've gone Van der Beek. Too late. It's Van der Beek. We'll just watch this go out. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with that Van der Beek. You know, he's not played much. Even with Ralph Rangnick coming in now, he's still been overlooked when he's made changes. And in the game, he's not actually that good. I had him at Parma, and he wasn't an absolute world beater. So I'm maybe thinking if we can cash in there. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I've asked a lot of questions today, but yeah, let me know down what your thoughts about Van der Beek. In particular, we're going to score again. No, Darlow. That's a poor finish from Greenwood. He should have put that away. What to do with Van der Beek? Because I think we could get, if we can get 40 million for him, I think we can strengthen a lot better and get a better midfield combination. We need to improve in that middle of the park, the 6 and the 8, the ball winner, the box-to-box midfielder. I think that's where we need to improve. Right, apologies for that. Set pieces, quickly, let me know. Right, Varane. Or if you want to design some, by all means. Mason Greenwood's absolutely belted that in, boys. 7-1. Set pieces, we need to get sorted. Lovely finish. He should have scored from his. He actually took the free kick, headed back out. Varane picks it up. So good off that right-hand side, isn't he? I'm not quite sure what he is, Mason Greenwood, yet. Is he going to become that real number 9 for Manchester United? I'm not 100% convinced at the moment. Right, I am very happy with the result and how we have played. So, there we go, boys. That is the first episode, 7-1, to kick us off the season. You've seen my backroom staff. You've seen the tactics. You've seen my little relationship with Ralph Rangnick and what we're going to be doing, hopefully, together in terms of recruitment. What do we do with Paul Pogba? That is all up to you. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you smash a like on today's video. It'll be muchly appreciated. Over the next week, I am starting on Twitch. I've got a new live stream series starting on Twitch. So go and give me a follow. Links down in the description. Video next week will come out at 9 o'clock. Just a little bit later because I am in the FM playoffs during Sunday. So it may be a little bit later on Sunday evening. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good week. See you later.